Because I can really eat. I was chosen to treat a wealthy young lady's anorexia. When we first met, she just fought with her boyfriend. She was so upset. She hadn't eaten all day. She shot me an irritated look. Then comments flashed through the air. Here it comes. That pretty boy supporting lead is definitely going to seduce the heroine while he can. Can the supporting lead learn his place? Even if they've fought. Our heroine still loves the male lead, okay? With my mouth full, the sudden comment scared me stiff. I silently offered her the food in my hand and mumbled, "Do you want some tomato?" Led by a servant, I arrived at the Jia family's younger daughter's bedroom door, where loud smashing sounds came from inside. I heard Miss Jia had fought with her boyfriend again. Jia Yan had always had a terrible temper, utterly unruly. Only her boyfriend could rein her in a little. This fight had triggered her anorexia again. Jia Yan locked herself in her room and hadn't eaten all day. The doctor said that having someone who loved eating eat in front of her could stimulate her appetite. So Mr. Jia found me. After all, I was the biggest eater in my village. 8 meals a day, and I enjoyed every bite. He said he'd pay me to eat in front of her and cover my grandfather's medical bills. So I came eagerly. At that moment, I was still clutching tightly the tomato a servant had casually shoved into my hand. The servant looked troubled by the commotion inside. Then he shoved me forward. "Go in yourself. I've got things to do. I'm leaving." The moment he left, I eagerly peeled the tomato and took a huge bite. Its sweet, delicate flesh burst across my tongue. As expected of a rich family, even their fruit tasted this good. Still taking bites, I pushed open the door. The room was a complete mess. Jia Yan's features were exquisite, but her expression was sour. Hearing me, she turned an annoyed gaze on me. For a moment, our eyes met. At the same time, comments suddenly floated through the air. Here it comes. That pretty boy supporting lead is definitely going to seduce the heroine while he can. If that supporting lead has any ulterior motives, he can wait for the heroine to throw him out, to scavenge for scraps on the streets. When I saw that, I was so frightened that I stopped chewing. I stared blankly at the comments. When Jia Yan saw I wasn't speaking, she grew even more impatient. She clicked her tongue. Her gaze swept over the juice on my lips, then settled on the tomato in my hand. Maybe she stared for too long, because I thought she wanted some too. So, heart aching, I timidly offered her my beloved tomato. "Do you want some tomato?" Jia Yan pressed her fingers to her brow and said coldly, "Get out." I quietly took back my tomato. Jia Yan still didn't come out to eat that night. I thought I was about to be fired. After all, Jia Yan clearly didn't seem to accept me treating her anorexia. At midnight, I lay in the room the servants had prepared for me, growing more worried by the minute. I worried until my stomach growled. I hadn't had a chance to show off my eating, and I'd only eaten 1 tomato that evening. By now, I was starving. Unable to bear it, I slipped out of bed and sneaked into the kitchen. I looked over the ingredients in the refrigerator and decided to make myself a bowl of simple tomato and egg noodles. Halfway through, I reconsidered and added a sausage for balanced nutrition. I also tossed in a handful of leafy greens. At last, a huge pot of fragrant, delicious noodles was ready. The tomato broth was rich, sweet, and tangy. The scrambled eggs were silky and tender. The noodles were springy and smooth. Bright green leafy greens topped it all off. I squatted at the kitchen door and dug in. Just as I was lost in the food, a noise suddenly came from outside. I looked up in alarm and met Jia Yan's unreadable eyes. I had no idea how long she'd been watching me. 3 minutes later, a dim light came on in the dining room. I sat at the table eating noodles, while Jia Yan watched quietly beside me. At first, her fixed stare made me uncomfortable, but once the noodles hit my mouth, I forgot all about it. When I finished, I wanted another bowl. Is it really that good? My cheeks were stuffed full, so I couldn't answer. Jia Yan seemed to let out a small laugh. "Why are you so silly?" As if it were only natural, she ordered me to serve her a bowl. My eyes curved with delight. Still chewing, I nodded. Good thing I had made enough for 3 bowls. I could have eaten all 3 myself, but to keep my job, giving Jia Yan one was worth it. So I brought out 2 more bowls of noodles. The noodles had gone a little soft, but they had soaked up even more flavor. Hurry and try it. I made it really delicious. Jia Yan truly was a young lady from a wealthy family. Even the way she ate was elegant. After she took a bite, I hurriedly asked, "Well?" Jia Yan didn't answer. She only said, "Keep eating." I eagerly picked up my chopsticks and ate so eagerly that I drained every drop of broth. When I set down my bowl, I realized Jiang had eaten more than half of hers too. The comments were instantly stunned. Heroine, what happened to your anorexia? Didn't the sight of food usually make you want to throw up? And now you've eaten more than half a bowl of noodles in one go. But now I want tomato and egg noodles too. Watching this in the middle of the night is making me hungry. The supporting lead makes it look so delicious. I'm craving it. I'm drooling. After that, I successfully stayed with the Jia family. Because of her long-term anorexia, Jiang had developed severe stomach problems. Mr. Jia said that every time I got her to eat a meal, he'd give me 1,000 yuan. If she ate a few more bites of fruit or cake, he'd add another 1,000. So in the days that followed, I was always following Jiang around, trying to coax her into eating a little more. Gradually, Jiang finally began eating a bit more. Mr. Jia was thrilled. He even transferred me to Jiang's school, so I could make sure she ate there too. That day, as usual, I put a sweet little cake filled with durian on her desk, then rushed back to my own class. Over the past few days, I had noticed that when Jiang ate fruit, she was willing to eat a few extra bites of durian. As soon as class ended, I eagerly went to find her, wanting to see if she'd eaten the cake. But when I reached her classroom, it was in complete chaos. Jiang, Jiang's boyfriend, clutched his chest and struggled to breathe. His arms were covered in red rashes. Jiang asked anxiously, "What happened?" Jiang looked up at me. Muchen said I could have some too. So I ate it. Who knew he'd hidden durian in it, which I'm allergic to? The comments exploded. I knew the supporting lead couldn't resist causing trouble. See, he finally showed his true colors. He deliberately gave our male lead durian, trying to trigger his allergy. Oh my god. The male lead looks like he's in so much pain. The heroine must be heartbroken. I picked up the cake with a bite taken out of it, and hurriedly explained. I clearly told you it was durian cake. You were the one who asked if you could eat it. I said it was fine if Jiang agreed, and specifically reminded you it was made with durian. But Jiang wouldn't listen at all. He only whined sweetly to Jiang, but I just didn't hear him say that. Yan, it hurts so much. I frowned, wanting to say more. How could you possibly not have heard? If you don't believe me, we can check the security footage. Jiang's accusation was blatantly flimsy. All it took was checking the footage or asking someone who was there to clear my name. I looked at Jiang hopefully, hoping she'd believe me, but Jiang clutched his chest, his delicate face streaked with aggrieved tears. He looked stubbornly at Jiang. Jiang instantly forgot about everything else. She pulled him into her arms in distress. Before I could say another word, she ran out of patience. With a sweep of her hand, she knocked the cake box from my hands. The delicate little cake fell to the floor, covered in dust. Holding Jiang protectively, Jiang cut me off. Enough. Ajay has always been straightforward. Do you think he'd lie to me? Stop trying to argue your way out of it. With that, she took Jiang to the hospital. I stared blankly at their retreating backs. A wave of hurt washed over me. Not because I'd been misunderstood, but because I was thinking. Damn it, I just lost another 1,000 yuan. I silently did the math. How many more meals did I have to get Jiang to eat before I had enough for Grandpa's surgery? After figuring it out, I still needed more than 70 meals. Fortunately, Jiang received treatment for his allergy in time, and nothing serious happened. So, after Jiang gave me the cold shoulder for 3 days, she finally started speaking to me again. When she called me, it was 9 that evening. In a lazy, casual tone, she said, "Little dummy, go buy me peach blossom pastries from that shop in the north of town. Hurry. I want some." The pastry shop closed at 10 at night. That meant I had to reach the north side of town within an hour. But the second I heard there was money to be made, my eyes lit up. Then wait a moment, I'll go get them right now. The next second, teasing laughter came through the phone. Yan, where did you find this little sidekick? He's so obedient. His voice is so low. Anyone listening would think you were coaxing a child. I couldn't help frowning. I grew up in the countryside down south. Even when I spoke Mandarin, I couldn't hide my accent. Jiang seemed to be in an excellent mood. She urged me on with a smile. Go on, hurry. So after I bought the pastries and rushed to the location Jiang had sent, it was already past 10 at night. When I got out of the car, a bleak, icy wind swept past. There were no shops around, nor any karaoke bars. Clutching the peach blossom pastries, I stood bewildered. On the deserted street, a few old street lamps flickered overhead. I called Jia Yan 3 times, but her phone was off each time. I squatted beneath the street lamp and waited for a long time. Unable to resist, I secretly ate one pastry. By my 5th call, she still hadn't answered. Chewing the pastry, I sadly realized Jia Yan had played me. I had no idea how much time passed. My legs had gone numb from squatting. When Jia Yan finally called back, in a careless tone, she said, "Ajay had an allergic reaction because of you. Ajay holds grudges and has a bad temper. Muchen, this is only a small lesson for you. Remember it next time. I don't hold grudges at all." Jia Yan laughed helplessly. Fine, you don't hold grudges." Jia Yan laughed helplessly. "Alright, I sent you the new address. Get here quickly." I wiped my face. I thought, since things had come to this, as long as Jia Yan was still willing to eat, tonight's trip wouldn't be for nothing. When I reached the private room, laughter and cheerful voices came from inside. I pushed open the door. Jiang seemed to have just, amid everyone's teasing cheers, kissed Jia Yan. The comments went wild. Their love is so pure. The male lead gets so shy from just one kiss. Why do I feel like he wanted the supporting guy to see it? He's subtly staking his claim. The supporting guy probably doesn't know yet, but those peach blossom pastries were actually for the male lead. This is hilarious. A lovesick fool ends up with nothing. The tips of Jiang Shei's ears were still red from that stolen kiss. When he saw me enter, he walked straight over. He took the pastries as if it were only natural. "Thanks for going out of your way to buy these for me." He picked one up and put it in his mouth, then tried to feed one to Jia Yan. "Yan, you should try some too." Jia Yan instinctively frowned and quietly avoided him. She said flatly, "I won't eat it. You can." "Alright." Jiang Shei lost interest. "Then I don't want any either." As he spoke, he carelessly tossed the remaining pastries aside. I hadn't cried while racing to the north side of town at night to buy pastries. I hadn't cried while squatting on the street for half an hour at midnight. But now that I knew, Jia Yan never wanted to eat anything at all, my whole world came crashing down. All the hurt from the entire night piled up, and I held it in for so long. But my eyes still turned red. Still unwilling to give up, I picked up a pastry and asked, "Jia Yan, won't you really try one?" "Yan, your little follower is so sweet. You only said you wanted peach blossom pastries, and he worried about it all night. Come on, just take a bite already." He looks like he's about to cry. Jia Yan seemed to be in a better mood. The peach blossom pastries she'd found disgusting just moments ago suddenly didn't seem so unbearable. She curled her lips into a smile. At last, she took the peach blossom pastry from my hand and slowly ate it. Once I left the private room, I finally burst into tears. Crying, I walked to the nearby night market and tearfully ordered a loaded savory crepe. When I returned to the villa, I wiped away tears. While biting into my crepe, Annie Wang, the housekeeper, was startled. She hurriedly ushered me inside. Over this time, I'd grown close to everyone at the villa. She exclaimed, "Oh, why are you crying over a crepe? It's so good, it made me cry." Clutching my crepe, I sniffled, unable to stop myself from complaining. Those peach blossom pastries went to waste. She didn't even want to eat them. She was deliberately messing with me. Annie Wang understood. Sighing, she led me into the living room. But today, an unfamiliar woman was sitting there. She wore a tailored designer business suit. After hearing our conversation, her cool, deep eyes settled silently on me. Annie Wang hurriedly introduced us. "Miss Xia, this is the person Mr. Xia hired to treat the younger Miss Xia's anorexia." I've been bad-mouthing Jia Yan behind her back, and her sister had heard every word. Feeling awkward, I quietly said, "Hello." The woman only gave me an indifferent glance and nodded slightly. Annie Wang saw the crepe in my hand and said disapprovingly, "How can a crepe alone be enough? What else do you want to eat? I'll make it for you." I blinked. "I want wontons too." The wontons were served soon after. Delicate wontons with thin wrappers and tender filling, with seaweed and shrimp, in a steaming porcelain bowl. They went perfectly with the crepe. My appetite surged. I immediately dug in, but after only a few bites, I felt that inquisitive gaze from the living room settle on me. A little while later, the woman walked over. She said nothing. She merely stood beside me and watched me eat. My cheeks were puffed out with food, so I could not speak either. I could only look at her questioningly. Finally, she spoke. "How much is my father paying you?" I swallowed my food and answered honestly, 1,000 yuan for getting Jia Yan to eat a meal. She seemed to chuckle, then asked, Would you mind taking on another job? Make sure I eat on time. And eat with me. How about 10,000 yuan per meal? My eyes widened in shock. I nearly choked. She reached out and gently patted my cheek. When I remained silent, she thought it over. If that isn't enough, then 20,000 yuan per meal. After a pause, she added, sorry, I just thought you made eating look so delicious. She was as composed as if negotiating a business contract. I don't have anorexia. I'll eat the meals you bring on time. And I won't make you cry. Is that all right? I stopped chewing, utterly stunned. I stared at her and asked, really? She nodded. I won't lie to you. Later, I learned from the servants that the two young ladies of the Jia family, one had anorexia, while the other was a complete workaholic. Jia Yan's older sister was named Jia Qinghuan. Though she was only 3 years older than Jia Yan, she had launched a successful business in college. After graduation, she took over the family company. She often became so absorbed in work that she forgot to eat, until her stomach burned fiercely at night, and only then realized she had skipped her meals. In the end, our arrangement was settled at 10,000 yuan per meal. Now that I had Jia Qinghuan as another major client, I could save up for Grandpa's surgery faster and get him better care. For the next 3 days, Jia Yan did not come looking for me, and I did not seek her out either. Instead, I used that time to learn more about Jia Qinghuan's food preferences. On the 4th day, I returned to the classroom after lunch. Most people had gone for their afternoon nap, but Jia Yan, who had not spoken to me for days, sat in my seat. When she saw me, she raised an eyebrow. Have you been busy lately? Why haven't you come to see me? I walked over, not particularly wanting to respond to her. Jia Yan reached out and touched my cheek. With curious surprise, she said, you're angry. I took out my textbook and still said nothing. The younger Miss Jia had been pampered since childhood. She had probably rarely faced rejection. Too proud to yield, she did not speak again for a while. Another minute passed. A box of exquisite pastries and a butter cookie were pushed onto my textbook. Beside them was a butter cookie I liked. At last, I looked at her and asked, are you apologizing? Jia Yan froze at that. The word apology had never existed in her dictionary, even when she fought with Zhang Zhang was always the first to give in. She simply wanted to see me, so she brought pastries. Jia Yan did not answer my question. I bought them for you. Then she gave an order out of habit. Little dummy, let's have dinner together tonight. I had not expected Jia Yan to bring up dinner herself. It was as if 1,000 yuan were beckoning to me. Fine, I sighed. I did not want to dwell on it anymore. After all, who turns down money? The freshly baked cookies smelled irresistible. They were sprinkled with crunchy chopped nuts. I opened the box and popped one into my mouth. My eyes instantly lit up. Delicious. I took another bite. After I had eaten nearly half the box, I realized Jia Yan had been sitting beside me the whole time. After thinking it over, I offered her a cookie. Without much hope, I casually asked, want one? Jia Yan looked down at the pale yellow cookie held between my slender fingers. She found it unexpectedly tempting. A soft laugh escaped her throat. Then she lowered her head slightly. Jia Yan actually leaned in and bit the cookie straight from my hand. Her lips lightly brushed my fingertips, leaving a warm sensation behind. I jerked my hand back, immediately putting distance between us. I frowned in disapproval. The next second, the cream cake beside us was suddenly grabbed. It was smashed straight onto my head. Zhang grating voice rang out. Don't you like eating? Then I'll make sure you get your fill. I raised a hand and wiped my cheek, smearing my hand with jam and cake. The comments flooded the screen. The male lead is so badass. What is this supporting guy doing? Trying to seduce someone else's girlfriend every day. Look how furious he has made our male lead. Still, I do not think the supporting guy even did anything. Ha, stop defending him. Commenter above. Feeding someone else's girlfriend. What else would you call that but seduction? I froze for only a second. When I came to my senses, I grabbed the full glass of water beside me and viciously splashed it at Zhang. But someone moved faster than I did, quickly stepping in front of Zhang. The entire glass of water splashed over Jia Yan instead. The comments erupted in delight. The female lead protecting her boyfriend was so cool. She did it completely on instinct. I am shipping them again. I am dying. The supporting guy looks like such a clown right now. Everything happened in a flash. For a moment, Jia Yan's face went blank. When she came to her senses, she saw me looking a complete mess with cream and jam all over my head. while Jiang was completely unharmed, hiding behind her, his eyes red with grievance. Jiang looped his arm through Jia Yan's and huffed at me. Then he thanked her in a sweet voice. Yan, thank you. If it were not for you, I would have been so embarrassed just now. This time, Jia Yan did not respond to Jiang right away. She looked at me. A few seconds later, she spoke with a frown. Che is immature. Do not take it personally. He's just a follower. What's there to feel sorry for? I looked at the two of them without a word. The atmosphere turned tense. Jia Yan had probably never seen me like this before. A rare flicker of panic flashed through her eyes. She spoke without thinking. That is just how Che is. Do you really need to get angry with him? Alright, I'll help you clean up. I'll compensate you tenfold for your clothes. As she spoke, she reached out to me, but I calmly avoided her hand. No need. Jia Yan rarely softened her tone. Then I'll have Annie Wong make some dishes you like tonight. We can eat together. I looked up into her eyes. Then I said, each word clear and deliberate. No, not ever again. All the way, I endured everyone's strange looks as I walked out through the school gates. Standing at the school gates, I felt a little lost. I did not even know where to go. Then I suddenly remembered. It had been a very, very long time since I had eaten Grandpa's wood-fired cooking. As I stood there dazed, a sleek yet understated luxury car slowly pulled up in front of me. Thinking I was in its way, I quietly stepped aside. But the rear window suddenly rolled down. The woman inside looked at me over her sunglasses. It was Qinghuan. Her brows drew together slightly, but a moment later, her expression softened again. How did you end up like this? For a moment, I forgot my sadness. Too surprised to react. What brings you here, Miss Xia? Shouldn't you be at work right now? Qinghuan said gently. You did not remind me to eat lunch today. I thought, maybe something had happened to you. As she spoke, the driver got out and opened the door for me. Inside the car, Qinghuan took out a handkerchief and carefully wiped the mess from my hair, then gently wiped my cheeks. The touch was strangely ticklish. In the end, she took me to her private apartment and had me take a shower. When I came out after my shower, Qinghuan's assistant had just delivered the meal to the door. The assistant handed the food to me and solemnly spoke as if entrusting me with a great mission. Mr. Su, I am counting on you to bring this meal to President Xia. I nodded, not understanding why. The assistant immediately sighed in relief and patted my shoulder with a world-weary look. Good luck, Mr. Su. With that, he slipped away. I did not think much of it. I took the meal to the study to call Qinghuan for dinner. When I pushed open the door, I found her in a video meeting. I suddenly remembered what Annie Wong had said. Qinghuan hated being disturbed while working, just as I hesitated over whether to leave first. Qinghuan looked over at me through her glasses. There was no turning back now, so I forced myself to say, Miss Xia, it is time to eat. The moment I finished speaking, the video conference fell instantly silent, but Qinghuan remained perfectly composed. She said calmly to the screen, We'll end today's meeting here. Then she shut her laptop. The food was already laid out on the dining table. Since I had eaten lunch, I quietly sat beside her and watched Qinghuan eat. Qinghuan ate nothing like I did. She ate with refinement and grace. And unlike Jia Yan, she was neither picky nor did she struggle with an eating disorder. She was a pleasure to watch. I could not help thinking. The assistant had made far too much of it. Qinghuan was clearly so cooperative. She ate on time, too. Perhaps I had stared at her for too long, because Qinghuan set down her chopsticks and looked at me. Are you still upset? I did not understand at first. She reassured me. About Jiang's durian allergy. I had someone pull the security footage. This was not your fault. I already sent the footage to Jia Yan's phone. Whether she believes it is up to her? But Su Muchen, you deserve to be cleared. I was stunned. I had not expected her to quietly take care of it from me. After a long moment, I muttered, Thank you. Qinghuan thought for a moment, then somehow produced a little cake and asked if I wanted it. I knew she was trying to cheer me up, but the moment I saw the cake, I could not help remembering what had happened at school. My mood sank with it. But before the seconds had passed, I suddenly realized something. Because of Jia Yan and Jiang, I had actually lost my love for little cakes. They were supposed to symbolize sweetness, yet now they reminded me of disgust, anger, and sadness. The moment I realized that, I frowned hard. That would not do. Little cakes were innocent. How could I hate them? With that thought, I took out my phone and typed a message to Mr. Xia. I'm sorry, sir. I don't think I'm suited for this job. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, but I have decided to resign. I also hope your daughter's eating disorder improves soon. After sending the message, I felt completely refreshed, as if I could devour 5 little cakes in one go again. Then comments drifted across my vision. Well, now he's done it. The supporting guy has angered both leads. Just wait for the heroine to throw him out onto the streets to scavenge for scraps. Wait, why is the supporting guy with the strongest boss in the whole story? Does he want the big boss to help him? She may have the power to do it, but how could she possibly be so easy to deal with? Qinghuan was actually the strongest boss. I had been quietly worried that Jiang would have Jiang take revenge on me, but after seeing those comments, I suddenly wondered if I got on Qinghuan's good side. Would she lend me a hand? He couldn't seduce the heroine, so now he plans to seduce the big boss instead. The supporting guy looks so innocent, but he has so many ulterior motives. Doesn't he know the big boss is even harder to handle than the heroine? If he provokes the big boss, there won't be anything left of him. Seeing those comments, I felt alarmed and uncertain again. Qinghuan, unaware of it all, saw me spacing out and sighed helplessly. The next second, the strongest boss from the comments bent close. She gently pinched my cheek, guiding me to look at her. In her serene eyes, there was a fleeting, almost imperceptible hint of hurt. Muchen, stop thinking about Jiang. I pay you 10,000 yuan a meal to look after you. You should think about me more. Over the next few days, I brought Qinghuan meals on time. Sometimes her assistant bought them, and sometimes I cooked them myself. Whenever I arrived carrying food, she immediately put aside her work and ate with me. It was like she was paying for a meal companion. Before long, even the company's receptionist recognized me. They looked at me with awe. I found it rather baffling, but did not ask why. One day, I personally cooked a lavish meal and eagerly went to see Qinghuan. Just as I reached the company entrance, I saw Jiang arguing with her. As I came closer, I heard Jiang say irritably, "Qinghuan, what gives you the right to freeze my card?" Qinghuan accepted a document from her assistant with one hand and replied casually, "Father can't control you, so I have to do it for him." Jiang, have you been spoiled so much lately that you think there are no rules? Jiang had never accepted being controlled and was about to say more. Standing there, I felt rather awkward, so I could only say softly, "Miss Xia, I'll wait for you over there." The instant I spoke, both of them turned to look at me. Jiang's face had been dark just a moment ago, but it brightened the moment she saw me. She raised a brow at Qinghuan and said, "My little dummy came to see me. I don't have time to waste on you." With that, she walked toward me and took the meal from my hands with slight disdain, but her eyes suddenly lit up. "Hey, little dummy, you're finally willing to talk to me. You haven't come to eat with me for days. You even ignore my messages. You've gotten bold. Annie Wang's cooking is disgusting. Without you, I can't eat." She opened the lunchbox and happily narrowed her eyes. "You made this for me yourself." I calmly took the lunchbox from her hand. "Sorry, this isn't for you." She raised a brow, amused. "What? Don't I have the last name Jia too?" I was confused why she would think that, but I explained anyway. "This is for your sister, and I won't be coming to eat with you anymore." With that, I took the lunchbox and turned to leave. Jiang suddenly seized my wrist. Her brows furrowed. "What do you mean? Explain it clearly." The confusion in her eyes seemed genuine. I held back, then asked anyway, "Did you see that security footage?" "What footage? You didn't receive it." Jiang thought for a moment. "I accidentally broke my phone a few days ago. All my chat history was gone." "Did you send me a message?" I gave her a complicated look. It doesn't matter. Whether Jiang had seen the footage was no longer important to me. Jiang's frown deepened. It felt as though a piece of her heart had gone hollow, and an inexplicable panic rose inside her. But I merely freed myself from her grip and said again, "Someone else will eat with you from now on. You don't need to message me anymore." I thought I'd made myself clear. Soon, someone new will come treat your eating disorder. Our paths won't cross again. Once that was settled, I breathed a sigh of relief. I paid Jiang no further attention and eagerly jogged toward Qinghuan. After spending time together, I was not so afraid of her anymore. Qinghuan spoke little but always responded to every word. It was as if she could accept every part of me. I chattered away. "Guess what I made today?" Qinghuan took the lunchbox. She considered it for 2 seconds, then said gently, "You mentioned Cola chicken wings the day before yesterday. How did you know?" You told me the day before yesterday. You said the cola chicken wings you make are delicious. I hadn't expected her to remember something I'd said so casually. You got it right. Then I'll let you have a few extra bites. Qinghuan smiled too. Playing along, she said. Thank you for the reward, Lord Muchen. I love it. As I went upstairs with Qinghuan, I happened to glance down and saw Jiang still standing downstairs, watching in the direction I'd left. She looked lost in thought. In the days that followed, I attended classes while continuing to eat with Qinghuan. One day, while I was bent over a practice test, I overheard my classmates gossiping. I heard Jiang and Jiang broke up after a huge fight. Jiang eventually transferred to another school. I did not pay it much attention and kept working on my test. As I worked through a problem, the classmate beside me tapped my shoulder. Muchen, Jiang is outside looking for you. I looked up toward the doorway and met Jiang's tired eyes. She stood in the doorway, looking as though she would not leave unless I came out. With no other choice, I went out and asked what was wrong. Jiang stared at me for a long while, then said hoarsely, Muchen, I'm sorry. I recovered my chat history and saw that security footage. I was wrong to misunderstand you before. I froze for a moment. I hadn't expected this was why she'd come. Jiang, who had always been so arrogant, now lowered her eyes and murmured, I've already broken up with him. I made him transfer schools. Please don't be angry anymore, okay? At the same time, comments flooded my vision. The plot has gone completely off the rails. Why did the male and female leads break up? I couldn't stand it anymore. These leads are completely unhinged. What did the supporting male lead ever do to deserve this? I've been sick of these two leads for ages. If the supporting male lead didn't make eating look so good, I would have dropped this long ago. So how does the female lead feel now? Why do I feel like she's fallen for the supporting male lead? I stopped reading the comments and sighed. Jiang, none of this matters to me anymore. Back then, I followed you around, coaxing you to eat more, only to earn an extra 1,000 yuan. I've quit now. Your affairs have nothing to do with me anymore. Jiang looked up and stared at me intensely. It was only for money. Just for money. At first, I really did want to get along with her. After all, without her, I might not even have raised half of Grandpa's surgery cost. So I put up with her temper and all the trouble she gave me. But the endless misunderstandings and accusations made me start doubting myself, wondering whether I was fit for this job. Gradually, I grew tired too. The corners of Jiang's eyes reddened. Still unwilling to give up, she asked, Then why did you run to the north side of town at night? Just to buy me peach blossom pastries. I answered sincerely. That was for the money too. Luckily, you took a bite in the end, so my effort wasn't wasted. After that, my desk drawer was always filled with breakfast, snacks, or fruit. Over time, the students were all sane. The younger Miss Xia was pursuing me. A few months later, the college entrance exams ended smoothly. On the day the results came out, I was having breakfast with Qinghuan when I saw my score would comfortably get me into my chosen university. I hugged her in a burst of excitement. Qinghuan, I got in. I got in. Qinghuan held me around the waist, her eyes curving as she softly praised me. Our Muchen is amazing. Once I calmed down, I realized how intimate our position was. She had practically pulled me into her arms. Her crisp, clear voice reached my ears and made my ears turn red. After the results were released, I received an enormous scholarship from the school, and it was finally the day of Grandpa's surgery. Even with the best doctors and equipment, I could not stop worrying. Qinghuan put off her work and waited quietly with me outside the operating room. I gripped her hand, my palm slick with sweat. I did not know how long had passed before the doctor came out. Smiling, he said the surgery had been a success. After a period of observation in the hospital, he could go home if his recovery remained on track. At last, I breathed a sigh of relief. That evening, Qinghuan went to handle some work and told her assistant to bring me dinner. When someone knocked on the door, I thought it was the assistant and hurried to open it. To my surprise, it was Jiang. She carried expensive gifts in her hands. Her reason was perfectly proper. I came to see Grandpa. I hope he recovers soon. I had no choice but to let her in. When I did not say anything, Jiang could not help trying to make conversation. After a while, I walked her out. She stopped in front of me, a flash of nerves crossing her eyes. Muchen, I have something to tell you. I looked at her, sensing what was coming. Then Jiang said, I like you. Can you give me a chance to pursue you? Though I had suspected it already, hearing her say it aloud still left me stunned. Before I could answer, an arm settled around my shoulders. A cool voice followed. Get in line. I turned and saw Qinghuan, who was supposed to be working. She held a lunchbox in one hand and used the other to separate Jiang and me. Jiang's face darkened when she saw her. Nearly gritting her teeth, she said, Sis, I obviously met him first. Why do you get to be ahead of me? At that, Qinghuan slightly raised the end of her brow and replied calmly, Maybe because I've never had an ex-boyfriend. Grandpa recovered very well and was discharged soon after. Some time later, he said he wanted to invite Qinghuan over for dinner. Grandpa was an excellent cook. We lived in the countryside, but the ingredients were incredibly fresh. That morning, the chickens were still pecking cabbage leaves in the yard. By noon, both chicken and cabbage had been stewed into congee. Fresh coconut was stewed with chicken. The meat was tender, and the broth was delicately sweet. The ribs bought at the market that morning were turned into sweet and sour ribs in a large iron pot by noon. He also slowly simmered a clay pot seafood congee. The shrimp and crabs had been caught in the stream by the village. I had worried Qinghuan would not be used to the countryside, but she adapted wonderfully and graciously ate quite a lot. After dinner, Grandpa pulled me into a corner and whispered, When did you two get together? I scratched my head, my ears turning red. We aren't together yet. Grandpa was shocked. I've met all kinds of people. That girl definitely has feelings for you. No matter what, Grandpa supports you. So, just before school started, Qinghuan and I got together. While I was busy packing for college life, I ran into Jiang, whom I had not seen in a long time. She seemed much thinner. She looked quietly at me for a long time, then suddenly asked, Muchen, if I had seen that video sooner, would things between us not have come to this? I looked at her, lost in a brief daze. Somehow, I thought of the night we first met. A dim yellow lamp lit the table. We sat together. Despite her anorexia, she had finished the noodles I made, which was rare for her. I had even thought Jiang was actually pretty easy to coax. But later, when Jiang had his allergic reaction, she had immediately found out the truth. If she hadn't made me stand alone on the street late at night just to appease Jiang, and made me stand alone on the street late at night, if that slice of cream cake had not hit me in the head, I looked at her seriously and said, one word at a time, Jiang, there are no ifs. Later, Jiang went abroad to study. A professional team helped her manage her anorexia. Anyone quietly told me that Qinghuan had arranged it all. I was a little surprised. Qinghuan sent her abroad. Before I could say anything else, Qinghuan appeared behind me and pulled me inside.